The military have their final rehearsal. It is a test of timings and of positions, but without the noise and atmosphere of wedding day itself. The Army, the Navy and the RAF will provide that vital element of pomp and pageantry on Friday. At Westminster Abbey, the hardiest of royal fans have spent the night camping out. It seems the best vantage points have already been taken up. Inside the Abbey, the wedding venue is being prepared. The floral displays are being moved in. They include 20-foot-high trees. Many of the trees and flowers have been sourced from royal estates. But the focus is increasingly on the wedding ceremony itself.
The moment, when William answers the question, do you take Kate to be your wife? And he says, I do. Almost all the lights will go out of London because he's no longer a bachelor.
We are now very much into the final countdown to this wedding. The last run-throughs and details being checked before everyone does it for real in 2 days' time.
Well, there was one very obvious thing missing from the rehearsals this morning, and that is, of course, the crowds. On Friday, there will be hundreds of thousands of people lining the Mall and the area around Buckingham Palace here, all, of course, hoping to catch a glimpse of the royal bride and groom. Well, I've been taking a closer look at the processional route from Westminster Abbey here to the Palace, and also looking at some of London's best viewpoints. Steeped in more than 1,000 years of history, Westminster Abbey has hosted 15 royal weddings. On April the 29th, it'll be the focus of billions around the world for its 16th, the marriage of Prince William and Kate Middleton. So, what will you see and where? It's after the wedding that you'll get the best views of the couple as they leave Westminster Abbey in an open-top carriage to Buckingham Palace. The journey is due to start at about 12:15. It should take between 15 and 25 minutes. They'll first travel past the Houses of Parliament and Big Ben through the crowds on Parliament Square. From there, they'll head up alongside the government buildings of Whitehall. Just ahead, the royal bride and groom will pass the cenotaph, whereas King William will one day lead the country in remembrance. Then they'll pass the gates of Downing Street. The Camerons are wedding guests, but will also host a street party later in the day. After passing the Ministry of Defence, the State Landau carriage turns left through Horse Guards Arch, momentarily disappearing from view before arriving on Horse Guards Parade, most familiar as the location from where the Queen watches the annual Trooping the Colour. From here it's on to the bottom of the Mall, and in front of them the Duke of York Memorial, where the biggest crowds of all are expected. As they head along the road that's home to so many grand occasions, they pass the statues of King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, William's great-grandparents. A poignant memorial to one of the happiest of royal marriages. 500,000 or more are expected to see the newlyweds from the Mall. The crowds will spill into neighbouring St James's Park and Green Park. They'll also watch the couple pass St James's Palace, nerve centre of this wedding. It's from here, inside William's private office, that much of this day has been planned. Next door is Clarence House, home to the Prince of Wales and Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, and where Prince William lived as a single man. And ahead of them, their final stop, Buckingham Palace, and perhaps the most prized vantage point of the day. If they stick with tradition, expect a moment of history, the balcony and the kiss.
There we are. Well, Daniela, it is quite a route, isn't it? And I imagine that the capital is going to be in virtual lockdown. Will there be a military presence all the way along every step of that journey?
There will. From the moment Prince William and Kate Middleton leave Westminster Abbey, there will be a party of military there waiting for them outside the Abbey. They've been selected from either those who have actually served with Prince William that he knows, or those who have made a great contribution to their own particular service. So they have been particularly selected, those who will be outside the Abbey. And then there will be over 1,000 military personnel, known as streetliners, who will line the entirety of the route then from the Abbey up to Buckingham Palace here. They'll have to stand at 5-metre intervals all along the route. So that's been what some of the practice has been today. But there will be a huge element of the ceremonial that the military will be involved in on Friday. And actually, just since the engagement, Prince William and Kate Middleton have said that they see this as a very important part of the wedding day because they view it as being something that can really emphasise a sense of national pride and national celebration.
OK, well, not long to go, Daniela. Thanks very much indeed. And if you just can't get enough of this royal wedding, well, we can bring an awful lot more to you. You go to the website, of course, bbc.com/royal wedding, where we've got the latest news and analysis, schedule for the big day, and you'll get to know exactly what is happening and where, as Daniela's been explaining to us. You're watching BBC World News, and coming up,